Hi everyone, Aidan here with etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and be showing you how to install these Konig XB16 snow tire chains on our 2022 Ford Maverick. And this is going to be on tire size 225, 65 R17, and per the owner's manual, installed on the rear axle. So these chains are going to have square links on them, which really just means that each link has this hard edge on the side, and it's going to be really good at biting into ice and breaking it up. So if you find yourself in some icy situations or deep snow, these will do really well. And this is going to be a diamond pattern. That can be seen pretty well on the sides in the wheel well here, where the chains form up these diamond shapes. That's going to give you a somewhat smoother ride quality, but also better traction on turns compared to something like a ladder style chain, which just has links running perpendicular across the tire. So for me, on everyday driving, if you're looking for a good mix between grip and comfort, this diamond pattern is probably the way to go. And then one of the big deals about this chain is it has an assisted tensioning arm. That's really just this series of links that's fed through a ratcheting buckle and hooks to itself, which you can see right here is drawing some slack out of the chain, ensuring it has a nice strong fit to the tire. Now, when looking at tire chains, you can get self-tensioning, which will constantly apply tension. This one is assisted, which means you've got to put the force into it and hook it on yourself. And if something did settle or maybe loosen up after driving on them for a while, then they might loosen up. This band here will help account for some of that, but at the end of the day, if you do install these, it's a good idea to get out and check on them after driving on them for a bit. And if you need to, just pull some of that extra slack out if it did appear. The links are going to be a manganese nickel alloy compared to a low carbon steel. So these are much more corrosion resistant and a nicer material. So if you're looking for something to last many seasons, that's the material you're looking for, is some sort of alloy. And then all the touch points are going to be coated, or all the points that really come in contact or in front of the wheel. So you don't have to worry about metal on metal contact with the rim, or just grabbing those touch points to hook this up. It's not going to be as cold to the touch, so it's going to help you a little bit with comfort there too. These chains do come in a pair, and they both fit into this carrying case really well. It's a pretty high quality case, hard shell, so you don't have to worry about it being just brittle or falling apart like some of the canvas bags. And both chains fit back into the case very well. So keeping this in your truck in case of those emergency situations, it's not going to be cumbersome, it's not going to take up a lot of room or make a mess. It'll keep everything contained for when you do need it. When it comes to ease of use though, the installation is probably my favorite part because you really don't have to crawl on the ground or get behind the tire to make connections, so it speeds up the process quite a bit. I do recommend installing this in your driveway once you get the chains, just to get the feel for it. That way when you are in an emergency situation, you're not doing it for the first time. But we'll walk you through the process of how these install right now. The first thing you want to do is lay the tire chains out and just make sure that nothing's tangled up before you start to put them on the tire. And there are a few things we need to take note of to ensure they're oriented properly. On these end links that connect to the coated cable, there's going to be a smoother side and a more hooked abrasive side. We want that smooth side face up right now because when we connect this to our tire, that's the side that's going to be touching the sidewall. And then the other thing is just this opening in the middle. That's where our tire is going to sit whenever this is getting installed. And when you've ensured everything's oriented properly, you can start to feed it behind the tire. I'm going to feed this end with the buckle behind first because there's just less to get tangled up here. And it's just going to pop out the other side. And when you have it loosely fed around, just pull everything to the front before you go any further. Because again, as you feed things back, they might get tangled up, but this one's looking pretty good. So we'll take each end of the cable, bring that up into the wheel well, and connect the stud to this catch plate right here, and drape the chains over the tire. The red hook will connect to this red link, And you can take some time now to center this up over the tire and just make sure everything's laying nice. Once you're happy with that, you can take the assisted tensioning arm, feed it through the catch down at the bottom, just making sure that it sits in there evenly. And as you pull it, just try to pull it straight so it doesn't pull out like that. And you will need to give this a good amount of force to actually sit on there well. Feed it through these red links on the side. And you may not need to do both. I think in our case we will. It really just depends on the tire fit. For us, feeding it through both is giving us a good amount of tension to reach across to the other side and pull that slack out. Then all you need to do is install the other side the exact same way and drive over them a few times. Because these aren't a full self-tensioning chain, I'd recommend hopping out of the car if you can and checking on them, because as you start to drive, things might settle and you might need to just pull on this a bit extra to really get it fully tight to the tire. But after that, you're ready to hit the road. And that'll do it for our look at and installation of the Konig XB16 snow tire chains on our 2022 Ford Maverick. Thanks for watching.